Welcome, everybody, to yet another episode of Toss, the Tristain on Sports Show. I am your host, as usual, T-Squared, Tristain Thomas, your friendly neighborhood T-Squared here with you. Back off of vacation, back into the fire, and let's start with some new developments that started right here in the state of Wisconsin. Let's get right into state of the state. Packer fans, hold on. Trust me, I'm going to get to that huge win against the Seahawks a little bit later in the show. We have two huge developments with other sports to talk about, and they all take place in the state of Wisconsin. Let's start first with the big one. The Milwaukee Common Council, approved the arena in a 12-3 vote today. I said it before. I wanted to hear some good news when I came back from vacation. And I got that good news. They approved this arena to be built. They're looking to break ground sometime in November. This is real now. The battle to save our Bucks is over. All the fans out there, everyone that fought so hard to keep this team in this state, in the city of city of Milwaukee, has worked. Everyone came together and we got it done. We got it done. And I say we because I feel like every single one of us Bucks fans, me included, had a say in this, had a part in this. We fought hard. We made our voice heard. Politicians had to do what they do. We all know how much of a grind that could be. The Bucks organization had to do what they had to do. They dug into the trenches as well. Went out there, lobbied hard. Put forth a great plan. And now we can really begin to build this future, to own this future. This is an exciting day, folks. This is really exciting. The Bucks are here to stay. Now, there are some people who are going to have their gripes with it. As with anyone, with any type of decision, you could do something according to someone's script. I'm talking right to the letter. And they still will not like how you did it. But regardless of that fact, the Bucks are staying. This arena is getting built. Sit down, shut up, and pay your 61 cents. Because that's exactly what it is. It's 61 cents per taxpayer. 61 cents. I don't know about you, but I'm going to chip in 61 cents. I'm more than willing to chip in 61 cents per year to keep an organization that's being built into being a first-class championship caliber organization, team here. A revenue maker, something that is going to help rejuvenate, revitalize Milwaukee, something that's going to give thousands of people good-paying jobs. A first-class arena, a first-class entertainment spot that not only the Milwaukee Bucks will be proud to play in, not only will Bucks fans be able to be proud to go and watch a game in, but you have many other promotions and things that will be more than happy to come and host their gigs here. I don't know how many people have been to the Bradley Center for a concert. I've been to many, and the acoustics in there are awful. The Bradley Center was not built for basketball. It really wasn't built for any type of concerts. I mean, it's just a building that happens to house basketball and concerts. This is going to be a world-class facility that is able to house, in the correct way, basketball, concerts, many other things. The NCAA told these guys, look, the Bradley Center, all right, but we don't really feel comfortable coming back here. So when you guys get a new arena, call us. It's from the NCAA. The NBA has told the Milwaukee Bucks, hey, look, listen, your building is probably the most antiquated in the league. You need to step your game up. Otherwise, we're taking this team from you. I don't get what people don't understand about this arena having to be done. It had to get done. Lots of people were going to lose their jobs. The state of Wisconsin, the city of Milwaukee was going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. For as much as people complain, and I'm talking about the people that are against this arena, against this deal, for as much as they complain about using taxpayer money to build an arena when there's so much other stuff going on. They would have complained even more had the Bucks been snatched and ripped from Milwaukee. You do what you have to do. They got the job done, and this arena is going to happen. There are no other hurdles to jump over. This is happening, folks. The Bucks are here to stay. This arena is getting built. People are getting jobs. Revitalization of Milwaukee is beginning. How can you not be happy about that? That is a step in the right direction. There's multiple problems everywhere. There's multiple problems in many states. And you want to gripe over an arena that could quite possibly be the proper step in the right direction for thousands of people, because they're going to get good paying jobs. They're going to be able to put their best foot forward. They're going to be able to go out there and be productive in a good paying job and enrich their future. At the same time, while enriching the city's future with this first class, world class arena that they're getting ready to build, an entertainment district. This revitalization is great for the city of Milwaukee. And as a man who was born and raised there, and still have tremendous love for his hometown, I understand the problems. I know the problems, but I know damn well this is a step in the right direction. Everybody that has a problem with it, maybe you should leave. Because what are you doing now to help those problems? You have a big piece of the puzzle staring you in the face saying, we are ready and willing to build this. And you guys are complaining. You're complaining. Things are finally headed in the right direction, and you're complaining about it, and you're trying to stop it, and you're complaining about 61 cents per year. I just don't get it. I don't get it, and I never will. But you know what? I don't have to get it. Because the Common Council said yes to it. 12-3 vote. They're breaking ground in November. Whether you love the Bucks, whether you hate the Bucks, whether you love the city of Milwaukee or hate what's going on with it, everything is going to be improved because the Bucks are going to stay here. And this arena is getting built. There are a lot of people who are going to benefit from this. So instead of thinking about why your change jar is going to get just a little bit lower every single year, and not by much, try thinking about the thousands of people that are going to be put to work, who want to work, willing to work, and haven't had that opportunity to, and now are going to get that opportunity and a good paying job to help enrich their future. Because when people are put back to work, good things happen. Great things happen. So instead of being negative Nellies, instead of being pissed off about it, how about you celebrate the fact that this is a good thing for a lot of people? You may not like the Bucks. Fine. So be it. But you live in the city of Milwaukee. You live in the state of Wisconsin. You want change. I say getting people back to work is a great change. I say having a first-class facility is a great change. Having a first-class basketball team is a welcome change. It's amazing what sports can do. It's amazing what sports being held in a first-class arena can do. This is the right move. This is the right thing to do. They're building it. It's happening. The Bucks are staying. And I am too excited about the future. Too excited about the future, where this future is, where this team is headed, how this arena is going to look, how it's going to play out. Hey, Bucks, if you're hearing me, I want tickets to the first game in that new arena. Hell, I want tickets to the season opener. Hook a brother up. Get back at me, the 2-0 double on Twitter. But I grew up in Milwaukee. I grew up with a lot of losing teams, and I also grew up during we had some really good winning teams as well. It's a proud franchise. It's a franchise that people did not want to play because they were that good. They were a powerhouse at one point in time. Remember the draft a couple years ago where it was, I believe it was I think it was the Lakers and the Celtics, the Sixers, and the Bucks, or it maybe one of those teams were out, but I know the Sixers were there because I believe Julius Erving was there representing the 76ers. And he made the comment, I'm not used to us being here. And I'm not used to seeing, I believe it was the Lakers here or the Milwaukee Bucks here, because those are the teams that we were facing, to win championships. Let that sink in for a minute. Dr. J, Julius Erving, Hall of Famer, NBA champion, one of my all-time favorite players, said that he's not used to seeing the 76ers there. He's not used to seeing the Bucks in a draft lottery, because those were the teams they were facing to go and win championships. That is where we need to get back to. And I think with this new ownership and everyone on board, that is a level that we're going to get back to. This new arena, this new first-class facility is going to do so much good for everyone, including the Milwaukee Bucks. The team that they're putting together is going to do so much for the city of Milwaukee, the state of Wisconsin. How can you not be excited about the future? How can you not be excited about this team? How can you not be excited about the way this organization is being run as a whole? Look at the change that has happened with this organization. That is the change you can expect in the city of Milwaukee. They've got the right team together. And I'm not talking about the team on the floor. I'm talking about the ownership, the management team. They have the right team assembled. They're the right guys for the job. And I feel confident with what they've been doing. The rebranding, the remarketing, the bus tour that they've had around the state. They're headed in the right direction. You've seen what they're able to do with this ball club. They've totally overhauled it and changed it. And there's still work to be done, yeah. But I love where they've gone from year one to year two. If they have their hands in it, that is the exact same change you could expect for the city of Milwaukee. And they are committed to doing so. Look at the commitment they've made with MPS. How long has it been since the Milwaukee Bucks had a partnership with MPS? Been a long time. A meaningful partnership to get kids to go to school and stay in school. I don't see any other team doing that in the state of Wisconsin. And if they are, it's very, very quiet. But they made it known, hey, we're here, and we're here to stay, and we're here to do great work in the community, not just on the ball court. So instead of complaining about 61 cents being missing from your salary for the next, 20 years, how about you look at all the good that these owners and this arena is doing for the city of Milwaukee? Let progress happen. Let good happen. And stop holding on to your money and bitching and complaining when you're not doing anything with the 61 cents that's going to be taken away from you anyway. Congratulations to everyone who worked hard on this deal to make this happen. Congrats to everyone who worked hard and voiced their opinion to save our Bucks. This is a fantastic day. This is a fantastic day. Bucks basketball is here to stay, and a first-class facility is coming our way. How can you not be happy about that? And on top of that, training camp is not that far away. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking very forward to it. So congratulations, Bucks. You deserve it. I am looking forward to that groundbreaking. I'm looking forward to this season. But I'm definitely looking forward to that first game in that brand new arena. Again, hook a brother up with some tickets at the 2-0 double. Tristain Thomas, get at me. I need some of those tickets. Make them good. Make them good, please. Oh, man. But yeah, I'm definitely elated about that. Now let's get to another development that happened. I am on record as saying as I would be surprised if the Brewers would announce a new GM before the end of postseason. Well, guess what, folks? I am absolutely surprised that they have named their brand new GM already. 30-year-old David Stearns is your new Milwaukee Brewers general manager. Here's a little bit of a rundown on him. He's from New York. Seems like we have a very big influx of New York New York folks here, especially with the Bucks owners, and now you got David Stearns. Side note: his name is David Stearns. He has an extra S on it, and he has an E in his name, as opposed to the former commissioner of the NBA, David Stern. I think that's a pretty good start. Love him or hate him, David Stern did a complete turnaround for the NBA. He took them from a few million to a few billion. Took them from pretty much a tape-delayed cable hell to a big-time live event that you must see. But I digress. Back to David Stearns, the new general manager for the Milwaukee Brewers. So 30 years old, from New York, or at least he's a New York native. Harvard grad. And I'm just laughing at the fact that I said the guy's 30 years old. I'm 33, so he's a youngin' to me. And yet he's in control of a major league ball club. I find that very, very amazing. But looking at his introductory interview, or introductory press conference, and he did, I believe, a kind of a fan Q&A on Facebook earlier today. He seems to be a very, very intelligent guy. I can see why Mark Antonaccio went with him. He fits the mold for everything he wants. He's younger, 30 years old. Yeah, he's definitely into the analytics, the sabermetrics, definitely into that. They were talking about server space on the Facebook fan Q&A. So he's looking to bring in a lot of statistical information to make the best decisions possible, and he voiced that himself. A little bit of his background here. He is the 9th general manager in franchise history, which is amazing. That, for a franchise that's been around for almost 50 years, they've only had 9 general managers. So it's not like it's been a revolving door. They've been pretty consistent. Some of the GMs been very consistently bad, so maybe they stuck with some of those guys a little bit too long. But we're moving forward. Most recently, the assistant general manager of the Houston Astros. And if you know anything about baseball, if you love the game, I love the game of baseball. I don't just love my Brewers, I love the game of baseball. If you have looked at that Astros team, they by far have one of the greatest, well, I won't say greatest, but they have one of the best farm systems in all of the major leagues. And if you look at the influx of talent that they have on their roster, most of that was homegrown. Most of that was homegrown through their farm system. Yes, they went through a lot of losing, but you have to go and use those picks wisely. And that's what they did, and he was a huge, huge, huge part of that. So I'm excited about that fact, because it's not like we have cupboards bare down in the minors. We do have a pretty good stockpile down there, and I think he's going to further that. And the thing that excites me is the fact that not only will he stockpile the farm system, but he's going to make some smart trades to help the major league club. And I'll get to that in a little bit here. A little bit more on his background. He was a director of baseball operations for the Cleveland Indians back in 2011 until 2012. And he's also done some work for the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. I believe he was heavily involved with the CBA, the most recent CBA. So he's done some major work. He's done it at almost every single level. I have complete and total faith and confidence in him. Like I said, he's done it. He's done it on a lot of different levels. He's had his hand in success at everywhere he's been, pretty much. So we'll see what moves he's able to make and how he's able to build that farm system up, and to see if that will come to fruition with Mark Antonaccio saw him, and Kern Ferry, who was the hiring firm that went out there and looked for him. We'll see what they saw in him. He came out across as very smart, very analytic, and the future is bright. This is a rebuild. This is an absolute rebuild. I don't want people to think. Let's get to his comments on the Facebook fan Q&A. The thing that I didn't like was the fact that he didn't speak anything of the major league roster. He didn't really come up with a plan on how he was going to help the major league roster. Most of it was they spoke about. Most of it was analytics. That's what they spoke about most of the time. And that's all well and fine. But those analytics really lead to how you're going to pick players, how you're going to stockpile that farm system. And that's really what it boils down to. So that was the little thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Is the fact that, okay, what about this major league roster? Because you can't go out there and just trot out garbage. I like Craig Counsell. I like the direction that he's taking this team. But make no bones about it, this team has struggled all year long. Would have been far worse had Ned Yost, not Ned Yost. Wow, Ned Yost. Wow. Would have been far worse if Ron Renicky would have been at the helm all year long. It makes you wish you still had Ned Yost. He took him and his merry band of ex-Brewers to the World Series and could quite possibly do it again this year. Those guys, the Royals, playing lights out. But if Ron Renicky had been at the helm all year long, it would have been far worse. So you can see that there's still something there, but you can't trot this same team out there next season. So what are you going to do in regards to that? And that's a question that I would have loved to ask him. I don't know if I would have gotten a straight answer because he's just fresh, newly minted into that. But I would have asked him, and I would love to know his thoughts about that. Would love to know his thoughts about that. I think you got some pretty good pitching pieces there, but as far as position players, what are you going to do? Is Chris Davis really worth the 100 plus strikeouts and maybe 20 to 21 home runs? Ryan Braun's going to end up having back surgery. Yeah, they're calling it minor, but dude, it's back surgery. Anytime you're dealing with the back, anything near the spine, I don't call that minor. But that's what they're saying. They're saying it's minor. He'll have it after the season. He'll be fine. But he's beginning to break down. First it's the thumb, and then it's his oblique, his rib cage muscles, and then now it's the back. He's breaking down. I mean, is he really worth keeping around? We all clearly know he's not the same player that he was when he was National League MVP. Or when he was caught on the performance-enhancing drugs. He's not the same player. He was an automatic 300. Now he can't hit 300. He can barely hit. What are you going to do with him? What about Jonathan Lucroy? What are you going to do with him? I mean, there's a lot of questions around here as to what are you going to do? How is this team going to get better? And we're talking Major League Club. We know you're going to work hard on the farm system. The farm system is pretty well stocked, but you can always get more. You can always get better there. You can trade pieces and get some major leaguers in here. I'm interested to know his plan in that. How does he plan on going about that? Never got that answer from the Facebook Q&A. Wasn't able to see the big press conference introducing him, but the Facebook Q&A was it was about 12 minutes long, and the fans asked no questions, and a lot of them were just kind of softball questions, and they lobbed them about minor league and things like that. So I didn't really get a lot of the questions answered that I wanted out of that when I sat down and watched that. But I will say this. I like the comment that he made about wanting to be a consistent winner. Not wanting to be a one-year wonder. Not wanting to be a 1 or 2 year wonder and then they faded to obscurity. Which is exactly what I spoke about on a previous episode of Toss. I'm sick and tired of these 1 year flash in the pan, let's go for it this year and try to rebuild on the fly the next 2 or 3. He wants to build a consistent winner. That's what I want. And that's what you need. That is what you need to keep this fan base interested. To keep them happy, to keep them coming out to the ballpark and supporting. Hey, look, good captain goes down with the ship. I'm still rolling with my Brewers. I'm still hoping they go out there and win every single time. Yeah, they're out of it. They don't really have anything to play for other than professional pride. I get that. But I still love my Brewers, and I'm still down with them, and I still watch them. And to have your newly cemented GM come in and say, hey, we're going to be consistent winners. We're not going to be this 1 year, we're a good team type of project team. The goal is to build a consistent winner. And that's what you need. That's what you want. And that's what I want to hear. But not only do I want to hear it, I want to see that. I want to see that come to fruition. Doug Melvin has left him with a pretty good slate as far as minor league goes. Like I said, they're pretty well stockpiled down there. That's where it has to begin. That's where this club has failed. They have failed in the fact that they really weren't good in the minor leagues. And Doug Melvin has admitted as much. But you saw what he did at the trade deadline with those trades. Those trades were fantastic because they put you on the road to be consistent winners. Doug Melvin and his club was very smart in doing that, saying that, look, you're out of it. You're not really going to be able to do anything this year. There's no salvaging this. We need to go and make new moves for the future. And kudos to him because he knew that he was going to step aside and be a consultant. And he didn't just say, hey, you guys are on your own. So big respect to him on that one. David Stearns was left with a very, very full cupboard. Something that's right in his wheelhouse. Build up that farm system and start bringing that talent up. I think he's going to be better as far as player development goes. My question is, what is he going to do with the major league club? What moves he's going to make with that? And as far as the coaching staff, what are you going to do? Is Craig Counsell going to stay? Is he going to be his guy? The pitching coaches, are they going to stay or are they going to go? Because for so long you've had this velocity, and I don't know what it is, but Brewer pitching, and I'm talking as a full staff, hasn't always been that great. You've had maybe one, maybe two guys that were pretty good, but everybody else was bad. Now, maybe that's more so on the players as opposed to the coaching, but I don't know why, but I've always had a problem with Brewer pitching coaching. I never believed it to be good as long as I've been alive. Can you get someone in here? And it amazes me where you could have certain guys on certain teams that just get pitchers. They get them, they rebuild them, and they're able to go out there and just be lights out. I don't get why we can't get one of those guys. I don't get why we can't get one of those guys. You got some good pitchers there. You got guys who can go and take that next step and be absolute studs. Taylor Youngman, I think it could be very good. Willie Peralta, we saw how good he could be last year. Very inconsistent this year. He was injured, but very inconsistent. Jimmy Nelson, who took that absolute nasty pitch off the head and has a brain contusion, and I'm hoping that he gets better. Prayers up to him because that was absolutely brutal to watch. Before that, he was one of the best pitchers in the major league for a couple month stretch there. Was pitching lights out. So it's not like you don't have anything there. I just think if you get someone who really just understands pitching and can really help those guys be lights out. I mean, you could have 3 number ones. Really, they have the talent to be able to do that. It's the will of those pitchers that want to go out there and do that, and also coaching has to do with that. It's what you're there for. You're the pitching coach. Coach them. Help them get better. I'm tired of seeing over 4 ERAs and thinking they're okay. So a lot of questions going on with this ball club, but they have their man in charge of all the player personnel and all that, and David Stearns, and I'm interested in seeing what he's going to do as far as the Milwaukee Brewers go. It's going to be very interesting seeing what he's able to put together and what he's able to do, and hopefully he can fulfill that promise that he's going to build a consistent winner. I think we're all hungry for that. I think we're all itching for that. And as you can see, like I said last week, the Packers are the only team in the state of Wisconsin that has always had this consistently right. Always. They had their losing period. They did. But every team goes through that period where they struggle, and then they rebuild, and then they get stronger. It takes less time for the Green Bay Packers to rebuild and be championship contenders than any other team in the state of Wisconsin. It really does. It really does. So they've been the only team that got this consistently right. And as you can see the Milwaukee Brewers want to get in that same realm, because the Bucks are trying to get to that same realm as well. So they want to join the party. Hey, don't forget about us. We're going to be good too. But I think they've got a lot more work to do before they're able to be on that level. But I'm excited to see what they're able to do. I'm excited to see what the future holds. I think things are brightening up. Like I stated last week, things are brightening up for the state of Wisconsin and sports in general in the state of Wisconsin. I think they're on the upswing. I think things are going to be better. So congratulations, David Stearns, 9th general manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. Hoping for lots of success. And again, I want to go to another one of those games as well. Hook me up, the 2-0 double at Twitter. I'm trying to get a plug on a lot of tickets, y'all. I'm telling you, I need to go to all these sporting events to give y'all the real of what's going on. So excuse my shameless plugging of my Twitter. That's my main means of communication. So, slide to the DMs. You can slide me some tickets there or something. Hook a brother up, please. Not to steal a line from good old JR, but hook a brother up. Please. So, like I said, 2 huge developments that I come back from vacation to, and they're both very, very good news pieces. They're very good pieces of news. I couldn't ask for more. Like I said, and then on top of that, we got a big Packers win to talk about, and that will be coming up next on Toss. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Toss, everybody. Your friendly neighborhood T-Square, Tristain Thomas here, and we're continuing with the state of the state. Packer fans, turn it up because we're about to talk about it. The Packers beat the Seahawks. Let that sink in for a minute. The Packers beat the Seahawks 27-17. It was a great game. If you were looking at my Twitter on Sunday, you will have seen that I live tweeted that game, and I had a lot of loud folks in my ear. Big ups to the El Cortez Hotel, Siegel's 1941 Steakhouse, as well as the Parlor Bar right across the way from them that hosted us. It was fantastic. They really took care of me there. Couldn't ask for more. Top service, great food, great atmosphere. I couldn't ask for more, so big ups to those guys. Thank you guys for hosting me and dealing with my shenanigans on this live tweet. It was a great game. It was a great game. It's what I call a character win. A character win. Because you saw it. They started off really, really fast. Now let's get into the offense. They started really fast. Got off to, what was it? Was it a 7-0 start? Either way, it was about 10-0 after a little bit. So the offense was consistent, even though they lost Eddie Lacy to an ankle injury, which we found out later it was minor. Hoping he doesn't miss this Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. Big cog in our offense, but James Starks stepped up, and that's why I wasn't too worried. We got James Starks, but after James Starks, who do you really have? You got a bunch of unproven people. I mean, James Starks was a Super Bowl winning running back. I mean, he was the reason why we had a running game and a consistent offense in the playoffs. I mean, so he played a big cog in that championship, and he can still do it. You saw him. He's a backup. He's a backup that can do it in a starting role, I believe. And he stepped in and played well in Eddie Lacy's absence. Could be more proud of the way he performed. Got some tough yardage and ran well. But the offense was kind of up and down. They were up in that first quarter. Then the second and third quarter, they were pretty much down. Didn't really do much. And you could say, hey, maybe it's because they were missing Eddie Lacy. Maybe it's because they were missing Devontae Adams, who also sprained his ankle. You have to give that Seahawks defense credit. They are still a good defense. Were they not the top defense last year in all of football? they still have almost all the pieces there, minus Cam Chancellor. But you can't tell me that Cam Chancellor's absence is the reason why they're playing like this. They gave up 34 points to the St. Louis Rams the week prior, 27 points to the Green Bay Packers, who last year had the number one offense, 30.4 points per game. You're not really going to hold them down that much unless you're the Buffalo Bills, who did a fantastic job on those guys last season. Especially at home. Those guys are automatic. The Green Bay Packers are at home. They're absolutely automatic. It's almost going to be a blowout every time you play those guys at Lambeau. I think, what's the stat? I believe they won their last 10 games, including the playoffs. Longest active streak in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown an interception since 2012. I think December 2012. 545 passing attempts. Some absurd number of touchdowns. It's amazing what they've been able to do at home. It's like that Lambeau mystique has returned. For the longest time, this team hadn't lost in the playoffs, and then you're seeing them lose in the playoffs at home. It's like, what the hell is going on around here in my Vince Lombardi voice, if I could do it? What the hell is going on around here? But I think they're finally getting that Lambeau mystique back, and it's becoming a place that everyone hates to come and play because they know more times than not it's going to be start the bus time. It's going to be go home time. Chalk it up as an L, go home. And that's what you want. You need to take care of business at home. That's what Mike McCarthy has been preaching. And I think those guys are finally adhering to it, and you're seeing it happen on the field. So you got to give the Seahawks defense credit. They played well. They played well for that stretch. They started to get to Aaron Rodgers. They started making life tough on receivers. But come on. Did you see some of the things that Aaron Rodgers was able to do, especially on the move? It's almost unfair what he's able to do on the move. That touchdown pass to James Jones, absolutely surgical. And on one of the best corners in the game. Put it right there, smallest window possible to get that ball to James Jones. And Rodgers hit it with deadly accuracy. One of the best throws of the year. I know it's early, but one of the best throws of the year. So overall, the offense was able to play a pretty good game overall. Given the fact that they're playing against a very tough defense. Again, I can't stress this enough. Cam Chancellor is not the reason why this defense is playing like this. They're giving up almost 30 points a game. Actually, it's over 30 points a game. But you can't tell me that one person is the reason why they're playing like that. Richard Sherman came after the game and said, we're struggling as a defense right now, but there are correctable things. We'll get it together. And I believe them because last season, at one point, people were thinking those guys weren't even going to make the playoffs. They weren't playing well defensively. They weren't playing well offensively. And then enter Bobby Wagner back from injury. And that defense kind of took off. They kind of got it. Maybe the similar effect will happen if Cam Chancellor comes back from his holdout. And then they'll put it together and they'll get it. Maybe they're a team that peaks late in the season. Don't really know. But give the Green Bay Packers credit, give the Seattle Seahawks credit. They made it tough. It was a back and forth slugfest. But overall, the offense played well. The defense played almost a complete game. I say almost, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. They played almost a complete game. I loved how they played contain on Russell Wilson. That is what you need to do. You cannot play inside on Russell Wilson. You need to play outside because that's where he likes to get out and run the ball. And that's when dangerous things start happening. When Russell Wilson starts running the football, loosens up the defense, which means it's loosening up the defense for Marshawn Lynch. And we all know when he gets going, that is a bowling ball full of butcher knives. You do not want to tackle that. And that's really what they wanted to do. The Packers defense, let's start off with the passing defense. They played well yet again. I said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it until people understand it. Last season, 10th in the league overall passing defense. And they had Tramon Williams then. So this was a good passing defense to begin with. They no longer have Tramon Williams, left via free agency to the Cleveland Browns. Enter Demarius Randall, Quentin Rollins, and those guys are playing fantastic football. They upgraded with those rookies. They're playing good football. Sam Shields played with a little bit more technique this past Sunday night. And it showed. The only receiver of any importance on that ball club is Jimmy Graham. And look what they did to him. I believe it was 1 catch for 11 yards. That's it. This is the same Jimmy Graham that has eaten the Packers alive when he was a part of this of the Saints. You hold him to 1 catch for 11 yards as a passing defense. That is outstanding. So overall, I love the way they played. They played outstanding. Yeah, Russ Wilson had the passing touchdown to Fred Jackson. But again, you have to give those guys credit. They've been to Super Bowl 2 straight years. They've won one before. So at some point, that offense was going to get going. Which brings me to my next point. The rushing defense. I said that this team played almost a complete game. And I say that because when they played disciplined, they were fantastic. They couldn't do anything. When they started to go inside on Russell Wilson, and that's when you saw the problems happen. He started running out, finding those lanes. He's starting to run, loosening up that defense. That's how they were able to get into scoring drives, was with his mobility, and you're going inside. So when they stopped playing disciplined football on defense, that's the only time that they were able to do anything. I feel for most of the game, with the exception of the second and third quarter, they played the most disciplined I remember seeing them. Probably the most disciplined since early on in the NFC Championship game. I love what they did. They kept him in the pocket, did not allow him to get outside for most of the game, but when they did, that's when they got into trouble. So that's my only thorn in the side type of moment there. You hold Marshawn Lynch 15 carries to 41 yards. Let me say that again. They held Marshawn Lynch to 15 carries for 41 yards. It just doesn't get any better than that. Does not get any better than that. That is exactly what you want. They came in with a game plan to be disciplined, to be nastier on the run, and let that passing defense do what that passing defense does. And guess what, folks? I said it last week, and I'm going to say it this week. B.J. Raji played well. I have been calling for him to be put back at that nose tackle spot for many years now. And when they did it, look at the results. That is where he is going to make his impact. That is where he was when they won the Super Bowl, and he was of great importance. 6.5 sacks from the nose tackle spot. That's where you need to put that man so he could go out there and help your ball club. And he is helping tremendously. Those guys could not run. They could not run, and he was the major cause of that. He is a factor at nose tackle, and you're seeing that. And you see when he's in there, he makes a difference on that run defense. I think people really underrated his loss last season when he tore that biceps. I think people really slept on that loss because that really hurt their rushing defense. Yeah, they made it to the NFC Championship game. They got it together. They put Clay Matthews on the inside, and he was phenomenal there. But he is the major cog on that run defense. And you got to have him there. You got to have him there because that's where he's going to make his impact. That is what you drafted him for to begin with. So why would you try to put him elsewhere? Put him where he's going to be most productive. And we spoke about this before here on Toss. This franchise is getting better with that. They understand that certain players belong in certain positions because that is where they're going to make the most impact. And they should not be moved. Some guys are a little bit more versatile. Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, Micah Hyde. Those guys are a little bit more versatile to where you can move them around. And they're able to do more. And that's okay. You need some guys like that. But understand that not every guy is like that. Not every guy is going to go out there and be able to play every single defensive position that you want them to. They just aren't that talented or don't have the football IQ in order to do that. They know one position, they know what to do in that position, the responsibilities for that position, and they can make an impact doing that. And that is okay. That's what you need. So big ups to B.J. Raji for playing a hell of a game yet again. His loss was so underrated last year, and he's showing why this year. Must be because it's a contract year. But I digress. No, I don't think it's because it's a contract year. I just think he's a hell of a player in that spot. So big ups to him. He had another great game. And big ups to that defense overall. I really enjoyed the way that they played on Sunday. Yeah, it made me sweat bullets for a little bit there because I had some loud people behind me. Loud people known as Seahawk fans. And as I'm saying fans, I'm putting quotes around that word fans. Yes, I'm pulling the air quote right now. And I'm going to tell you why I'm pulling the air quote around fans in just a moment. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Toss, everyone. It's time to get into the Toss sweep. As you know, I was in Las Vegas last week and through Monday, and I got to watch the Packers and Seahawks game on Sunday night. Actually, live tweeted that game on my Twitter. A lot of fun. I also posted a couple of pictures on our page on Toss on Facebook. They're pretty fun pictures because it showed the before and it showed an after. The before, you saw me in my Packer jersey, and I'm sitting at my table at the parlor. Got a couple of drinks in front of me. Always drink responsibly. Got multiple TVs in front of me. I'm in a comfortable leather seat. I'm ready. I'm posted. I'm ready for the game. Then this huge group comes in. And they're loud and they're obnoxious. And then this little elderly lady comes up to me and she sees me and she's like, and she looks at my jersey. She's like, "Oh, you're a Packer fan?" I'm like, yes, I am. I am a Packer fan. And she's like, "Okay, well, there's a big gang of Seahawks fans behind you. I'm also a Seahawks fan." And I'm like, She's like, wait. I'm just telling you from experience. They're very obnoxious. I'm not talking about myself. I'm just saying them. So just give you a heads up. It's just like, I hope good luck. I don't hope you guys win, but I hope it's a good game. Same to you. And she goes and she sits down at her table with her husband. And, they both Seahawks fans. They wear Seahawks colors. So they're sitting there and they're enjoying the game. And just the game hasn't even started. And these guys and gals are behind me. Just loud, obnoxious, running around the entire bar. And this is more of an upscale bar, whenever you got fine leather seats and leather booths and all that, it's a little bit more of an upscale establishment. And they're running around and they've got the Mardi Gras beads going. And look, here's the thing. I am all for showing passion for your team. I love the passion. Just do not be obnoxious for it. There's a reason why Packers fans were voted some of the best sports fans in the world. There's a reason why Lambeau Field is the number one place to go and see a football game. You can ask any sports writer out there. You can ask any sports historian out there. Lambeau Field is a place that everyone should go and see a game at before they die. Because as a Packer fan, we'll razz you. Or we'll get on you. But it's not obnoxious. because, it's all good natured, it's all good spirited. Because at the end of it, hey, we'll buy you a beer, we'll buy you some curds, we'll chop it up, we'll talk. We're not going to fight. There's no hostility. It's, hey, spirit of competition. At the very end of it, it's a game. It's not life or death, even though it feels like it sometimes. We're all very passionate, but there's a right way to be passionate and there's a wrong way to be passionate. I can't say this is for every Seahawks fan because I have not been around every Seahawks fan in the world. And there probably aren't that many around the world, to tell you the truth. To be quite honest with you, when I was in green, when I was wearing my Packer jersey, Eddie Lacy, in Vegas, everyone coming up, go Pack. They're either wearing Packer shirts, Packer colors, Packer jerseys, face painted up. Saw a couple of cheese heads, or they had on Badger shirts, or they had on Brewer shirts. I even seen some new Milwaukee Bucks merchandise out there in Vegas. Y'all, Wisconsin sports are loved. I'm telling you, they are loved by more than people in just Wisconsin. It is a national thing. It is a worldwide thing. I've been in Canada before. There were Packer jerseys up there in Toronto, believe it or not. So it's a worldwide thing. Everybody loves the Packers. I'm getting go Pack everywhere I go. Go Pack, go Pack. A couple people were Seahawks fans. A couple of people were Viking fans out there. And it's like, oh, boo. And it's like, yeah, boo yourself. But it's all good. It's all in the spirit of competition. So I'm sitting there with a couple other Packer fans. And then there's more that comes in once the game starts. It's like, oh, yeah, now it's even. And you could see in the room the difference between the two. Even the bartender was like, look, I'm going to go and turn the TV up because those guys are absolutely getting on my nerves and I can't hear the game myself and I'm trying to watch it myself and serve everybody. So you want me to go turn it up? I'm like, yes. All Packer fans are saying, yes, please, because we want to actually hear the game and not hear them. So even the bartender was on our side. The first picture I took was of myself sitting at my table with my Packer jersey on. The game was just starting. An entire booth full and like maybe 2 or 3 tables in front of that full of Seahawks fans, just rowdy. Every other second it's Seahawk. And it's like, really? You got chicks half in the bag running around on my table, like acting like they're flapping wings, like they're Seahawks. It's like, do you understand that I'm trying to watch the game and not watch you? Like, do you do this at your stadium? Do you go running in front of people, obstructing their view? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, go chill. So that was the first picture I took. And right as the Green Bay Packers scored, like, yeah, they had that first 3 and out, and the Seahawks fans were so happy. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Give us the ball back. That's right. It's over. It's over. We got this in the bag. That's right. Except it was a lot louder than that and a lot more drunken and obnoxious than that. But right when Aaron Rodgers turned it on, that touchdown pass to James Jones, that surgical touchdown pass we spoke about earlier, quiet. Straight silence. Silence. And it was like that for a majority of the game. Seahawks came back, and they weren't even cheering as loud as Packer fans were cheering when we scored. Like, we scored, we're high-fiving each other, but we're not pointing at them. We're not showing the Seahawks fans up. But as soon as the Seahawks fans score, they're trying to show us up. But it was a little bit more subdued because they knew they were still down and they're still facing the best quarterback in the world. Halftime comes around, and everybody gets up out of the bar. You know halftime. Even if you're watching the game at home or whether you're watching the game at the stadium, you're going to go and take a bathroom break. Okay, you're going to go and you're going to take a restroom break. So everybody goes and they take a restroom break. All the Packer fans returned back to the parlor. But where were the Seahawk fans? They were gone. None of them came back for the game. I know they didn't have any flights. Did they go and gamble? I mean, they were all gone. They quit on their team. And if you looked at the Facebook page, Toss, Tristain on Sports. The second picture I posted on that page was me sitting in the same seat that I was before, same table, taking the same exact picture I took before, except all of the Seahawks fans were gone. And I'm not joking when I say all the Seahawks fans were gone. Every single one of them were really gone. All that was left in that bar were Packer fans. And guess what? More of them funneled in to that bar. By the end of the game, there was nothing but Packer fans in that bar. And we stayed to the very end. When that clock hit triple zeros, we got up, we cheered, we high-fived, we talked about the game, high-fiving the bartenders. We were happy. We were elated that they pulled off this character win. We all understand there's a lot of football left to play. But this is a rival. A very emotional, very heated rival that we just beat. Feels good to beat those guys. It was a character win. They faced adversity in that game. But they came back, they pulled it out, and they won it. Take pride in that victory. Understand, there's a lot of football left to be played, but this is something that could be built off of. But how pathetic were those Seahawks fans? How do you not stay with your team through it all? When you guys left, it was a 3-point game. Still within striking distance. You could very possibly win that game. But you decided to leave. Left your team high and dry. Was talking all that mess before the game. Talking tons of mess before the game. Being rude, being obnoxious. And then the game started and you shut up. And then you started losing, then you left. When there was a whole second half to be played. That is one of the worst combinations you can have in your fan base, is to be both a fair weather fan and an obnoxious fan. Because you're obnoxious when you're winning. And newsflash, Seahawks fans, you've been good all of about 3 years. Stop acting like you've had 90 plus years of excellence like the Green Bay Packers. You got one championship. We've got 13. Stop acting like you guys own the NFL and you're kings of the NFL and you're NFL royalty. You've been good 3 years. There's a sense of arrogance that comes along with that fan base for whatever reason. And I'm just talking about my interaction with them. It's amazing. That is the worst combination you could possibly have, to be both obnoxious and a fair weather fan. Because when things start getting tough, you bail on them. But then when they start putting things back together, you want to be there like you were with them all throughout the struggles from day one. And you weren't. That's why I love the Green Bay Packers and I love our fan base. Because we're going to be with those guys through thick and thin. We'll vent. We'll talk about our frustrations about it. But you know what? We're not leaving. We're not leaving. We're staying there. We're staying there because a good captain goes down with the ship. It's quite literally our team. We're going to go down with them if that's the case. We're not going to be loud and obnoxious before the game. We're not going to talk down on your team. We'll razz you. It's what good sports fans do. We'll razz each other. We'll talk about each other's football team or basketball team or baseball team. But we're talking specifically football. We'll talk about your football team. How we're going to clobber you. But at the end of it, we'll buy you a beer. Buy you some brats. Buy you some cheese curds. Have a good conversation with you. A meaningful conversation with you. People need to take note. That's what a real fan does. Don't be like Seahawks fans. Don't be loud and obnoxious. Talk all this jazz before the game, and then the game starts and it gets a little bit too real for you. you realize that you're playing the best quarterback in the world. And he's going to slice and dice you sooner or later. He had his best passer rating in the last, 3 or 4 games against these guys in this past game. But when stuff gets too real for you, then you want to bail. You want to jump. That is totally pathetic. Get your minds right. Get your fan base together. Do better. Packers win 27-17 against the Seattle Seahawks. Character win. Proud of those guys. Proud of the way they played. Looking forward to next week against Kansas City. Should be another good one. This is Toss. We'll be right back. All right, y'all. That has been another edition of Toss, the Tristain on Sports Show. It's been fantastic. Episode 3, we're moving right along. Again, folks, I need you guys. This show's going to go nowhere without you. I need your love. I need your support. So I need you guys to go on to facebook.com/TON That is TON Sports Show. Like our page, share it, comment, interact. I need you guys there. I need you guys to get this thing rolling for us. We can't do it without you. Also, check me out on Twitter at the20double. That is at the20double on Twitter. Get at me there. Like I said, I do a lot of live tweeting at games. I've always got a comment about something. I'm always retweeting somebody, and I would love to hear what you guys think about the show. I would love to hear what you guys think about any other sports matters you got, anything you guys want me to talk about, anything you guys want me to touch on. Let me know. I'm open. I'll talk about it. I'll do what I can for you. I'll even give you a shout out while I'm doing it. So again, the20double on Twitter. That is at the20double on Twitter. Make sure you like that. Get at me there. But again, this has been another episode of Toss. We're rolling right along here. I enjoyed this. I love doing the show for you guys. So this is Tristain Thomas reminding all of you that dreams don't catch themselves. Get up, get out, and get after it. Until next week, so long from Toss.